Fine Music Breakfast with Annabelle Drumm.
And you're here indeed with Fine Music Breakfast. Sorry, I missed my little cue there with the BBC News. We continued on. We don't need another hour of that. And I hope you're enjoying your Friday morning. It's currently 18 degrees here in Sydney. We're looking for a high of 29, just like summertime. And in Penrith, it's 12 degrees, looking for a high of 31. There will be some high cloud today, some fog still around, as we heard in the traffic report, and the chance of a shower later in the afternoon and evening. Believe it or not, it doesn't feel like that at the moment. Looking outside, the trees are very still, but we're looking for some very gusty gale-force winds today. And then tomorrow will be even stronger winds, but much cooler weather, about 20 degrees high. So that is the weather. Now, in the studio, I have with me this morning an internationally renowned musician and conductor. He's appeared as soloist in the United Kingdom for the Philharmonia Orchestra, Royal Philharmonic, Ulster Orchestra, and the Royal Liverpool Philharmonic. And here in Australia, he's worked with our main orchestras in Adelaide and Canberra, but has a very special connection to the Sydney Symphony as soloist, viola and conductor. He's also artistic director for the Sydney Symphony Fellowship. I would like to introduce and welcome along to Fine Music, Roger Benedict.
Good morning.
Good
nice
morning.
to be here.
Nice. I'm so pleased that you're here. Just looking back through your resume, that a lot of your work was split mostly between the UK and Australia. So what is it that brought you down under?
Well, the Sydney Symphony brought me down under. I was never expecting to end up here, and I'm extremely glad that I did. I came 17 years ago, initially to be principal viola in the Sydney Symphony and also to start the fellowship program, which is a emerging artists program. It's become a really big thing and a big part of my work.
Was that your idea?
It was the idea of the orchestra. They wanted to set something up, and that was the hook that sort of got me interested in coming here, because it's just I've always been involved in training musicians and teaching, and for me that's incredibly satisfying and very important work to do.
And the fellowship program is just so amazing, because I haven't heard of any other orchestras doing it, though you've worked with other youth orchestras around the world, haven't
Yes,
you?
fellowship is rare in that it's basically a full-time program. We have up to 16 young professional musicians come and play with the orchestra. We do chamber music, we do outreach work, we go to schools, we go to prisons, we go anywhere we can to take our music and also to make sure that the training is as broad as possible. But yes, I've been doing lots of work with youth orchestras like the Australian Youth Orchestra, the National Youth Orchestra of Great Britain, and I just, I get so much back from doing that work. There's nothing.
What is
more
it about
satisfying.
that area of work that really grabs you?
I just think, we've all, spent years learning our craft, and we still continue to work on our craft. We need to be mentoring the next generation. We need to make sure that the people following us into our jobs are better than us and able to take the profession into the future and take audiences with them into the future. I think it's just an amazing responsibility, but it gives us so much back as well. So mentoring is a two-way process.
Yes, the thing of working with the young ones is they're just coming up into their professional area. I remember, because my dad used to be a musician conductor, and I remember him talking about his friends, talking, say, Berlin Philharmonic or the Philharmonia, saying, well, you just can't get into those orchestras until somebody dies. So this idea of mentoring people rather than desperately clinging to your chair is quite a different attitude.
Absolutely. And, it's hard to get a job, especially in Australia. There are so few orchestras. So if you're a flute player and there are only 3 flutes in every orchestra, of course, it might take a long time till the job comes up. So we aim to make sure that the Sydney Symphony Fellows are as well trained as they can be for getting those positions. And I think there's something like 86% of them are now working in jobs around Australia and overseas, which is an amazing percentage. The rest of them might be freelancing somewhere, but that's just the number that have got 1 positions. So it's a tough job, but we want to make sure that they do as well as possible.
Yes, and preparing them is so brilliant, being able to do that for them, because so many of them come up through their tertiary education and they don't know what to do or how to get those freelance jobs.
Yeah, it's just,
well, do you talk to them about freelance work?
Yes, and we don't want to sort of pigeonhole them into becoming a member of the Sydney Symphony. That would be irresponsible to say, look, we're just training you for that. We want to train them for as wide a career as possible. And these days we talk about a sort of portfolio career where you might be doing some teaching, some playing, you might be leading workshops. There's all sorts of things to do, and we want them to be as broadly based as possible.
Because putting the eggs in several baskets means there's backup, isn't there? If they suddenly find they can't do one of those jobs. They've got all these other areas that they can work in.
Exactly.
Right. And with the Sydney Symphony Fellows and the work that they're doing, there must be lots of people that audition for those positions.
Oh, we have hundreds of people audition and apply for the positions, and the lucky few, get to play in the program. We work with other emerging artists as well, so we do a Play Link program for secondary school students. We're soon to be doing some workshops in Parramatta. We do every year. Again, it's like an orchestra. We create over 100 people have applied for that. Secondary school kids that come in, and we hope to sort of feed them through these different processes, feed them into the conservatoriums, and then, we take them out at the end and try and train them up at the SSO. We need all these different stages of training for it to be really successful.
Marvellous. I guess there's for so many different industries, there's various different ways of getting into those jobs. Sometimes it's near impossible. But I'm thinking also about teenagers or those in their early 20s, or the young ones who are further out. They're out in the rural areas and the outback, and they don't even know what is available. It must be much harder for them to find work.
Oh, absolutely. And, most of us have been very lucky. We've had parents that have been able to afford to buy us, instruments and pay for lessons and send us to institutions where we can have those lessons. It's very important that we look after people that are less fortunate, have less opportunity than we do. And I think as musicians, we're all aware of that we've been given a lot of help to get where we are today to do our job.
So the Concert for Life that you originally set up in 2015, was that aimed more towards those children further out?
Well, the concert in 2015 was a concert to raise money for suicide prevention across Australia. That was done in collaboration with Suicide Prevention Australia on World Suicide Prevention Day, which is the 10th of September. And I just had this idea to get together all my friends in the orchestras, the Sydney Symphony, the Australian Chamber Orchestra and the Opera Orchestra, and do something together. And it's this idea that, yes, we've been given these skills and talents, but we've been given a lot of opportunity. Let's give something back. Let's do something useful. And we did this concert at Sydney Town Hall, which was a big success, not only because we raised money and we hopefully raised a lot of awareness about the issue.
A lot of money. What was it, about $40,000?
That's right.
That's outstanding.
But also, the musicians really loved doing it, and they said, let's do this every year. Let's make this a regular thing. Let's get together and try and make a difference. We didn't do it for a few years, but we've decided to do it this year.
So what spurred you on to do it this year?
Well, people nagging me, basically.
They really want to do it.
It's World Suicide Prevention Day again, next Tuesday, the 10th of September. And we decided we wanted to do something more specific and raise money for Indigenous suicide prevention.
Right.
There's been so much on the news about the shocking statistics in this area. We all know that Indigenous people have lower life expectancy, less opportunity, and all sorts of mental health issues. But the suicide rates are just shocking. 40% of child deaths in Indigenous communities are by suicide. That's just
crazy.
Shocking amount. So we decided, my little committee and my friends organising it, that we would try and find a really good programme that we knew would have a tangible effect on this issue. And we searched quite a long time and then found this Tracey Westerman scholarship programme, which trains psychologists at Curtin University and sends them out into remote communities. And it trains Indigenous psychologists. So these are people that understand the culture, they understand the communities they're working in. And they go out and then they work in high-risk remote communities and make a real difference. And why we like it is because, every $10,000 that we raise will sponsor a student for the whole of that training. It will provide a scholarship for them. And then, they can then spend the next 20 years, 30 years doing really good work and really saving lives. So it has a tangible effect on suicide prevention.
That's magnificent. Now, the program that you've set for this Concert for Life looks absolutely delightful. There's so many pieces that are well known. Rhapsody in Blue by Gershwin and Pavane by Ravel and by Fauré, and they're just wonderful pieces of music. They're going to be lovely.
Well, I wanted to put together a program that was life-affirming, that was accessible, that the orchestra would enjoy playing, It's a kind of gala concert, so as well as the full-size orchestra, which is made up of the Sydney Symphony and Australian opera players, we have Simon Tedeschi, this wonderful pianist and a great friend of mine, playing the Rhapsody in Blue by Gershwin, and there's no one that plays the piece as well as Simon. He is just the master of that piece. We've got the Sydney Children's Choir, 65 strong. That's their young men's choir and their senior choir singing in the concert as well. Some beautiful music, and that always brings a tear to my eye, lump to my throat when they start singing. And yes, we've got Bizet Carmen Suite, we've got Fauré, we've got Ravel. It's just a life-affirming program of music. And I think when you perform in a setting like this and when you hear a concert, I think the pathos and the joy in the music is amplified. It's all the highs and the lows.
Hopefully it'll open their wallets a little bit more.
And, well, we hope that too. First of all, we just want people to buy tickets to the concert, come along and just enjoy with us making music, doing something to try and make a difference. And I think, just being there on the evening is the most important thing and supporting us. We then hope that, long after the last notes have been played, that the fundraising will continue, and we will be working also to work on that area so we can not just stop on Tuesday, but keep raising money for this amazing program.
Lovely. And I'm thinking with the such life-affirming music, as you're saying, that it's actually it's ideal for people who haven't heard a lot of classical music. So, if you're at work, perhaps you could bring a group along. This is really great for people who are not very well familiar with classical music, a wonderful introduction. Now, we've got a little piece from the program, just as a little sampler, and that one is, I think it's Fauré's Pavan, wasn't it? Yeah. Let's have a listen to this. This one is performed by Vladimir Ashkenazy. Vladimir Ashkenazy with Fauré's Pavan, and I'm here with Roger Benedict. We're here talking about the Concert for Life, which is on next Tuesday. And Roger, you've got a more orchestral version of that piece in your program, haven't you?
That's right. It's wonderful to hear it played by Ashkenazy so beautifully, but we're doing the orchestral version along with music by Gershwin and Ravel and Bizet. It's going to be a wonderful concert.
It's going to be really good. So next Tuesday at 8 p.m. at the Verbruggen Hall at the Sydney Conservatorium. They've got a car park right next door to us as well, I think. And you can get your tickets at concertforlife.com.au. If you've ever had anybody affected by suicide, this may be the concert for you as well, not just for corporate groups, but for anybody who can come along to enjoy the concert. And if you find that you're not available on Tuesday, that you can also make a donation at that website to go towards this cause, because it is such a good cause. Now, Roger, we have a double pass to give away, is that right?
That's right. We'd love to give away a double pass. And we've also got
CDs. Yes, so, lovely CDs.
The soloist Simon Tedeschi, who's a great friend of mine, we've made a CD which was released last year called A Winter's Tale.
So this is you with your viola, not
it's me with my viola, so it's not me with my baton.
It's not very interesting then, is it, really?
Playing some Schubert and Schumann, so we're going to give 2 of those away as well. So tickets for the concert and 2 CDs.
Okay, so if you want to go in the draw, then these double passes are very worthwhile for this wonderful concert next Tuesday, or to have either of these CDs. Tell me which one that you want to go for. You can give us a call on 9439 4777, and the draw will happen after 9 o'clock when the receptionist gets here. They will call the winners by phone. So thank you, Roger, so much for coming in today, and I really hope that concert goes beautifully.
Thank you, and please check out our Facebook page, Concert for Life 2019. If you look that up, you'll find it, and go to concertforlife.com.au for any more information, and we'd love to see you on Tuesday at the concert.
Sounds good. And I think if we do a little photo now, we can put that on both those Facebook pages as well, for Fine Music as well as the Concert for Life.
Great.
Wonderful. Thanks so much, Roger.
Thank you.